I'm Cynthia James, and this network is about changing lives one woman at a time. Hello and welcome to Women Awakening. I'm your host, Cynthia James. You know, I get to be with you every week and introduce you to powerful women who are change makers and game changers, women who stand up and dare to be seen. And they show us what's possible when we claim our freedom and our power. So I do this every week. We're on Spotify, iTunes, iHeart, Spreaker, Amazon, YouTube. Subscribe and come back every week and be inspired. So I have today a guest, a woman. Okay, I'm just going to say I love her. Her name is Akuyoe Graham. She's a performing artist, an agape licensed practitioner, and a spiritual counselor. She was born in Ghana, West Africa. She is the founder of the arts organization Spirit Awakening Foundation, and it was named after her critically acclaimed one-woman show, Spirit Awakening. As the foundation's CEO, she oversees the implementation of her innovative arts programs in over 12 schools and also juvenile facilities for incarcerated children. Oh, and by the way, she's an award-winning actor. She's done a lot of films and a lot of television and commercials. She's also a frequent TEDx speaker, both locally and internationally. She's won a lot of awards: Los Angeles Women's Theater Integrity Award, Black Women's Lawyer Association Inspiration Spirit Award. And then in 2018, Walden Award honorees alongside her teacher and mentor, Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith. Oh, and by the way, Oprah Winfrey. She loves God and I love her. Welcome, Akuyoe.
Oh, thank you. Wow, Cynthia, that was just the most beautiful opening. I love you too. And I'm a huge fan of yours, your wisdom, your insights, your beauty, your luminosity, your voice. And I just want to thank you for your presence in the world and for doing the work you're doing and for being who you are. Thank you.
Oh, that is so lovely. Thanks so much. Well, so you're born in Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about your childhood.
Oh my goodness. I was in Ghana for just 6 years before moving to England. My mother took me to England when I was 6 years old. Actually, I met her. She left. My grandparents, her parents wouldn't let her take me. They were like, "You never been before? Our first grandchild? No, you are not taking her with you." So once you get settled and you have a job and you're going to stay, then maybe we'll send her to you. So later on, about 2 or 3 years later, I joined my mother. I was 6 years old at the time. So Ghana, my memories of growing up in Ghana actually I don't really remember much, to tell you the truth, because I was so little. What I do remember of my childhood was growing up in London after leaving Ghana, and just the shock to my system because it was so different. And it was really challenging. I cannot tell a lie. Growing up in England back then, this was many years ago, and my mother was a divorcee, a single mother, single parent, woman, African, Black in England. I want to say, Meghan Markle, you think you had a rough, like nothing. So it was challenging. And yet, again, I wouldn't change any of it. I'm so grateful to my mother for insisting that we travel, taking me not only to London, but to different countries in Europe at a young age, so that by the time we came to the United States, when I was 10 or 11 or so, I had traveled quite a bit and I was used to different languages, different foods, different people. To me, it was no big deal. That's the world, and I think that really has helped to shape who I am now and my interests and what I am really committed to in my life.
Well, what's so interesting about that is that I really believe if we traveled more, if we connected more, if we entered more cultures, the big divides that we're experiencing around the world would not be so evident, because we would be connecting to one another and seeing that we're all the same.
That's right. That's exactly right. I totally believe that too. And in fact, a lot of the young people I work with, we encourage them to travel. And because of that, a lot of times we take them traveling. We established an international service trip so that they would go beyond the parameters of the United States and see the world, and see this big, beautiful planet that we have been entrusted with. And as you said, to feel other people, to get exposed to other cultures, and know that we are connected, that our differences are truly only skin deep.
That's
After
right.
that, we are one. We are really one. So yes, yay for traveling.
Yes. So I want to know, when did you notice that you were an artist?
What a great question. Very young, very, very young. I noticed in England during the rough times in London that I loved reading, and I would just engross myself in stories, and I would get lost in them. I mean, it was visceral. And I also noticed that I really had a penchant for storytelling. I had a penchant for make believe, to imagine things, because it was my escape. I could escape into a different world. I could escape into being a different character. I could escape into a whole nother realm. And I loved it. So very young, at a very young age, I knew that I had a connection to creativity and to the imagination.
It's so interesting, because I wrote in my last book that was my saving grace, my imagination, and the ability to go into that fantasy and make up people and make up stories and stuff. And so I think it's one of the reasons why I love what you do so much, is because storytellers are healers.
Oh,
They
look,
really open heart,
that's
so
right.
yeah. So I want to know, I really want to talk a little bit about your acting career, because I've been an actress and I know it's not for the faint of heart. So, so
Oh,
what called you to acting, and how has it been staying in that field?
whew, that's another great question. What called me to acting? I remember at an audition, again, this was in New York, when I was actually auditioning for NYU, which I got into, and the director asked me, why do you want to act? And I said, I want to move the world. I want to really be, and I hadn't even started Agape then, Cynthia. I just said, I want to move the world. I want to be a force and a presence for good. And I want to inspire. Those were the words that came out of my mouth. That's what I wanted to do. And so, and there's nothing wrong. I just want to say, for me, it was never about being a star or any of those things. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. I just have to recognize that was never really my track. I wanted to move the world. I want to heal. I want to inspire. I want to tell stories. And so that has always kept me faithful in that respect, that single eye focus. Now, having said that, once I wrote my one woman play, and when I came to LA from New York, I was walking down the street and someone saw me and told me about an audition and took me there. And I got into a play, and I worked with Juanita Jennings and Akoso Buzia from Color Purple and all these wonderful people, and met a lot of people. Everybody came to see that play at that time, Denzel Washington, Stevie Wonder. And I started working. I did a lot of TV movies and commercials. And I remember going home and thinking, is this it? I'm like, Spirit. And again, I hadn't started Agape yet, but I was like, so what? I'm just going to become famous, make a lot of money? Are you kidding me? Give me something else. Those were the words out of my mouth, and so, and that was shortly after that I started volunteering in the prison system. What has kept me is that I tend to go very intuitively, and so once I did all those movies and TV shows and commercials, I took a break. and place my attention on the prison work and bringing stories into the prisons for the young people there. And I thought, this is a way for me to use my acting abilities in a meaningful way for me. This is the way for me to tell the stories I want to tell. This is the way for me to play the roles I want to play and not have to be beholden to someone's perceived ideas about me that perhaps didn't really jive with what I knew to be true about me. And so in terms of navigating the entertainment world, Cynthia, I think that break really was helpful because it gave me an opportunity to be strong. It gave me an opportunity to find my voice, to strengthen my voice. And it gave me an opportunity to know that I didn't have to do anything that I didn't want to, that I could be true to who I was, that I didn't have to go and change myself, to fit in a way that was out of integrity for me. And so now, it's interesting because now I'm doing a lot more work. I just finished making the film of my play, and I'm very excited. The intention is to have it released by the fall of this year. And I feel like now I'm in the industry as a woman of worth because it's on my terms, with my values. And I'm really happy about that because without that, I think I would have been it would not have been a good experience for me. I'd love to know your, because I know I've seen you so much and you started at the top, you started a star, on Star Search and all the amazing things you've done. How has been an entertainment industry been for you?
You know what? It was a gift and I felt like my creative part got to express a lot of different characters, a lot of different ways. I did my one-woman show in prisons too, and I worked with women, and it was great. But it got to a place for me, and not that I chose it, because the universe kind of stepped in and said, "Okay, stop, because you're going to go over here and do this." But it got to a place where I didn't feel like the roles I was being asked to do were in alignment with who I valued. I just finished reading Cicely Tyson's book and how she turned down so many things because it wasn't in alignment with her. So I feel like the entertainment industry artistry is a healing salve. When you look through history, artists have been the healers on a lot of levels. But I also think the business can carry a lot of weight and a lot of pressure. And so for me, it was like, I'm grateful and honored that I got to do all kinds of things. And my calling now, very similar to yours, is like, what difference can I make in the world? How do I bring my voice to the world to help other people? So I love that you knew that so early. And I love that you listened. And by the way, congratulations on doing the movie, of your play. I mean, it's so powerful. I want to know, because you've mentioned agape, but the feeling tone I get is that throughout your entire life, spirit was guiding you.
Yes.
Talk to me about that relationship.
Absolutely. I've always been a lover of God, and that I get from my family, my mother. As a child, I witnessed her. I saw what she did. She prayed. She went to church. She sang the praises of God, even though I didn't understand. So I grew up with that. And so throughout my childhood, I always knew that there was something within, something. I may not have had the articulation at that time. However, I knew that there was something divine, within or around or about me. And so when I did finally come to agape, it was literally coming home to that which I had known all along, coming home to that which felt right for me. And I thought, yes, this is my spiritual home. And it gave me the support I needed to be out in the world and say, yes, I am a lover of God, unabashedly, unashamedly. I am a lover of God. And I am here to release the impartations of the divine. I am here to listen and to be guided and to give the gifts that I have been bestowed to give, the gifts that I am just really facilitating. They're not my gifts per se, they're just gifts that this incarnation took on. So ever since childhood, I've always had that. And I'm so grateful because that is what led me to agape. That's what led me to be able to be proximate with a being, a light being like yourself, to meet these extraordinary beings that are amazing, these powerful artists. And I know it's because of that love of the spirit that was within me all through my childhood up until now.
Well, that's so beautiful. And for those of you who may not know, the Agape International Spiritual Center is in Los Angeles, and it's a powerhouse place, a spiritual community. AgapeLive.com is how you can find them and see the streaming services and the amazing Michael Beckwith. So I want to know, though, okay, where did this foundation come from? Because you're out here busy.
That's so great because I remember I just done a made for TV film, and I went to a meditation. I went to service at Agape in Los Angeles, and as I sat in the back of the sanctuary, I heard literally a voice say Spirit Awakening Foundation. And I love the name. And I wow, because I'd done the play and I thought, Spirit Awakening Foundation. Okay, sure, cool. And I just said yes. No idea what it meant. I didn't know about philanthropy. Cynthia, I don't even think I was familiar with that word. I didn't know that there was a whole philanthropic world in the world. I didn't know about the juvenile facilities, did not know that it was a whole prison industrial complex. I just said yes to Spirit Awakening Foundation. And with that yes, literally I was guided where to go, who to talk to. I would meet people. Someone would call me up and say, I want to introduce you to someone. Oh, he happens to be a philanthropist. I would introduce you to this person. And so when I said yes to the foundation, my early beginnings of the foundation work was so grace-filled. My board of directors were made up of individuals with enormous resources, financial resources. So fundraising would be a phone call. I would pick up the phone. I didn't have a cell phone at the time. And within 5-10 minutes, I might have raised $50,000 to $100,000 just from phone calls. And so I thought, wow, well, this is great, Spirit. Yeah, I'm going to keep doing this because and that's the way of a spirit. It's like, okay, let's just ease her in very gracefully, very easily. She'll get to the challenges later, but right now let's just make sure we reel her in. But the work just was so compelling for me. I mean, I turned down auditions. I wouldn't go to auditions. I made a lot of agents very angry, because I would have a presentation at a school and they'd call me, you got to go to this audition. You have a callback. And I remember one time, this one producer was so upset with me. They called me that morning and I had a presentation for a school. And honestly, Cynthia, I took a moment and I thought, I'm supposed to present to an entire assembly. If I don't go, those kids, and not only do I disappoint the school, and we all know it's a lot to get things done in a school. And I just called them back and I said, you're not shooting today or tomorrow. You can see me another time. I have to go to do this assembly. And the producer, who I thought was a friend, was just so upset. His ego got in the way. And he was like, well, if you're going to turn this down, then we don't need you. And I just thought, well, I have no regrets whatsoever, because I know that showing up for those kids at that school that day made a difference to at least one child. That TV movie that I didn't get, it was like, who even remembers? I don't even remember the name of it. So, but not to disparage anyone, I know that I was and am on my right track and the right path for me,
Yeah.
So,
yes. Well, and that you listened. And here's the thing, it's one of the things that not just the entertainment industry, but industries across the board, it's like they want to own your being and your choices. And when you go, no, I want to stand for who I am, then there's a pushback. And I think that what is happening on the planet, what we're witnessing in different forms, is people going, I don't think I like that. I don't think I want to do that. I want to have my own voice. I want to have my own ideas. I want to have my own identity. And I think because that's happening, we are in the midst of a huge change on this planet. And so, yeah, so I love that you did that. And I guess I want to ask you now, I have a foundation, so I understand there's a lot of work. And I have a business, and I understand there's a lot of work. How do you create the harmony with that and the balance to have a life?
That's right. Well, having good people that I work with helps a lot, and I've had to learn how to really disseminate information and share the workload and know that I don't have to do everything myself. That was really hard for me, because I felt like I had to be on top of everything and doing everything. And I can't do everything. What is beautiful is I'm so grateful that I really love working with great people. That's not an area where my ego gets in the way. I want to work with great people. I want to stand next to shining, beaming lights. It's like, you go, girl, you go, boy. I want to be with those people. And so I feel grateful that finally I can say I have a team that I work with that is really brilliant. They are brilliant. They are artists themselves. There's tremendous respect and love and admiration that we have. It's mutual. And so I'm able to really have everyone doing the work that they've been hired to do. It's like, you do this, you do that. And that allows me to really create the life that I want to live, to do the things that are important to me. I mean, one of the things we do every day when I talk to team members at Spirit Awakening is, hey, how are you? Are you okay? Do you need to take time off? What are you doing? Is there something you're working on that you need me to support? Even though you're working for me and you're doing my work, still you're doing a lot of stuff. What can I support you with? But the most important thing is to be able to check in with people, make sure that everyone is really okay mentally, physically, emotionally, and that, they don't feel overwhelmed with work, that they can speak up, that we create an environment where truly they can say what's on their heart, and ask for time off when they need it. And that goes for me as well, to be able to say, right? To be able to say, okay, like today, this morning, I'm busy. So after 1 p.m., you can reach out to me. Until then, I have things that I'm taking care of. It's important to be able to do that, and that allows the flow and less friction. It wasn't always like that in the beginning. I've worked with a lot of frogs that hadn't turned into princes and princesses yet. I have worked with my share.
Ditto.
Right?
Oh my gosh. Totally.
Right? Okay.
I love that you've learned to take care of yourself and take care of others. Because here's the thing. The more we take care of others, the more they take care of us. And if that thing was happening on this planet, whoa, there would be a circulation that would be extraordinary, because the resources are available for people to have homes and food and be taken care of. If we just opened and allowed the receptivity and the circulation to flow, it would be great.
Absolutely.
So I want to know how people find you.
They can find me either at spiritawakening.org or at akuyoe.com. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, so I'm pretty accessible. And I hope they will check me out. I have workshops coming up too. So can I tell I have one coming up this year, 2023, January 14th, which is virtual. And if you're in the LA area, I have one on the 21st, which is in person. So you can find out more information on the websites.
And by the way, ladies, look at her skin. For those of you who are looking at video, for those of you who aren't, go find her on YouTube. I mean, she's not aging. She looks exactly the same, beautiful skin, and as well as being brilliant. So this makes me so happy to be with you. So I guess I want to end with the same question I ask every guest. This show is called Women Awakening. What do you think is the one thing, the one important thing about women awakening on the planet at this moment?
Ooh, I think that women awakening on the planet at this time is really about men also awakening to the feminine, to the divine feminine, that we are each awakening to that which is the feminine, that which is loving, more kind, and more accepting, and more generous. I really think that is the call right now on the planet. And women, we are leading the charge for that. We are leading the charge for that.
That's beautiful. Couldn't agree with you more. Well, Akuyoe Graham, thank you for your presence on this show, but for your presence on this planet. I'm so grateful that your soul said yes to being here at this moment in time to bring your gifts. It's such an honor to walk this path with you.
Likewise, Cynthia, I love you so much. And I'm going to do my texting to the Rev right now so we can get you back and out of the cold. Oh, and my love to your beloved Carl as well, and your whole family.
Thank you, darling.
I love you.
So, ladies, you know, I end this show the same way. And so I need to tell you this. You're fantastic. You're incredible. You're amazing. You're unique. You're powerful. You're dynamic, and you're here for a reason. Do not waste one more minute playing small. Allow your heart to come forward, your gifts. Allow yourself to shine. You are needed on this planet. I love you, and I'm so grateful to do this show with you. Many blessings, and I'll see you next time.